Hi, you are watching Toon Matrix. Please watch the previous part for better understanding. At the starting of the chapter, two policemen are seen where the hooded man crushed Uyong's hand. The first man asks, "Is this the crime scene?" The other man replies in affirmative. And further explains the crime, that the victim is a doctor and the perpetrator used the metal crusher to crush the victim's hand. The first man asks, "What does the victim says?" To which other man replies that he doesn't remember a thing. And continues saying that he was injected with something before the assault. The policeman asks, "What is it?" To which other man replies that it is a painkiller that causes short-term memory loss. The first man says if only they can find where the drug is from, but the other man cuts him off by saying it belongs to the victim and further explains that the victim was discovered with vials of drugs, a syringe and a camcorder. The first man exclaims, "What a drag." The other person says that the victim has prior cases for taking pictures of patients without their consent. The first man asks, "What was the victim doing with these things at late night?" The other man says that victim is refusing to make any statements, and while he was in the hospital he had one of his employees destroy his PC. The first person says that maybe the victim is lying when he says he doesn't remember anything. The other man says, "Who knows? All he knows that the victim is completely terrified and probably won't be able to practice medicine again." In the next panel we are taken to the police academy, where Jiyong Kim is jogging with his fellow trainees, and also Kim has bruises on his fists. In the hallway some trainees are seeing the news of the assault on the doctor, and one of them says that probably one of the doctor's previous victims must have hired a fixer to do the assault. And further says that this is because people believe that the law cannot protect them. "What are you guys doing?" says Kim while approaching them. While making an optimistic face, he further says that they have to be at top of their assignment to spend a carefree weekend. The scene shifts to two people walking down the road. A kid coming from ahead gets frightened upon seeing them. One of the men curses the kid and says, "What the hell is he looking at?" The kid makes a scared face while looking at the men, and starts crying. The man raises his hand to slap the kid, and while making a scary face, he says that, "Get out of here, you wanna die too?" The kid gets stunned and runs away from that place. The other man says to his friend that he is just a kid, you might have given him a heart attack. While walking, the red jacket man asks the men that did he know the kid? To which the man says that, "You know that I have to go to prison for 18 months, right?" And further says that one night he was drunk and taking a piss in the alley, then the kid's dad came and started whining about how he was pissing in front of his business. So he threw some punches, but suddenly the kid's dad started foaming from his mouth and then he dies, and he curses his luck. The red jacket man laughs, and says that is that the reason why he asks the kid if he wants to die too. The man calls him a bastard. Then the red jacket man asks that he only served a year and a half for killing a man? To which the man replies that it was not murder, rather it was an honest mistake. He further says that it was an unintended accident, and he curses his luck because he has to spend 18 months in prison. The two men walk away and we see that the black hooded man is following them making a fierce face. The scene shifts to night time and we see that the two men are flirting with some girls, but girls denies to go with them. The two men walking away curses as they do not get their way with the girls. The man says that he wanted to get a shot before heading home. We see that hooded man running towards them. Unbeknownst to this fact, the two men stops to take a piss, and while taking a piss the vigilante comes dashing behind them and smashes one of the men's head to the wall. They both get startled. The red jacket man tries to punch the hooded man, but the hooded man punches him so hard that his ribs gets cracked and tears and saliva comes out from his mouth. Then the hooded man grabs his neck and smashes his head to his knees, then he grabs the man's hair and throws him to the ground. The other man tries to stab Kim but he notices and dodges it. The man asks to the hooded man what does he want while holding his bleeding mouth, and rushes to stab him while cursing him. Kim dodges the knife swiftly, and tries to punch the men. But the man swings his knife around, so Kim gets back. The man curses Kim while swinging his knife. To avoid the knife, Kim gets behind an electric pole. The man relentlessly swings his knife around while cursing Kim. He continuously tries to stab and cut Kim, but after dodging and ducking the man for some time, Kim gets the hold of the man's arm. He pulls his arm, and the man's head collides with the pole and blood splatters around. Kim then kicks the man in the leg making him fall to the ground, and then Kim breaks the man's hand. The man shouts in pain, but Kim started punching the man in his face. The man started to ask for forgiveness and asks the hooded man to not kill him. But Kim continues punching the man while making a fierce face. The scene shifts to the kid and his mother. The kid is denying to go to school as he is scared of the two men, and says that they are going to kill him if he runs into them again. Then the mother says that she will accompany him, but the kid says that they will kill her too. The mother makes a depressed face and says it was not enough to put them in prison. The mother notices a crowd murmuring at a distance. Then she reaches near the crowd to know what has happened. Upon reaching there, a lady says that they are here just in time, and explains further that the two guys who kept bothering her and her kid was beaten to pulp by someone. Their arms were twisted, jaws and teeth were all shattered, they were beaten so badly that they don't even remember their names. The lady says that they used to arrogantly cause trouble in the neighborhood, guess they met their match. The scene shifts to where the police trainees were jogging while holding the book of police law. We then see Kim with his bruised hand running with a smile. In the hallway some trainees were muttering among them, then Kim comes and asks why they are not heading to the classroom. Then one of them says that he should look at this article. Kim seems confused, and then Kim gets shocked upon seeing the article. In the next scene we see a middle-aged man sitting at a cafe. A red-haired woman approaches the man says that she is the one who asks for a meet-up, and she shows up late. He further says that she only has 5 minutes and after that he will be gone. The woman says that the man mentioned the opening for a reporter's position, right? Let me give it a try, says the woman. The man makes a wearying face and says that just because he gives some of his time to her, the woman cuts off the man and says that she had been doing her own investigation and gives him the tablet to take a look. The man asks what is it? The woman says, it's an exclusive and just take a look at it. The man, while making an unhappy face, says what is this? An exclusive? He further says that these are just a list of major violent crime news, and he gets up to go away and says what a waste of time. The woman says sit down, here is the good part, and asks the man does he know what is common in these crimes? And further says that, they all occurred in Seoul or Western Gyeonggi region, between Friday to Sunday. And the victims of these cases are the people who have been previously convicted for serious crimes, but were released by ridiculous court ruling. The man seems confused and asks what is she talking about. The woman asks him to take a seat, and she briefs the man about several crimes in which the perpetrator was either released or was out on parole due to the ridiculous court rulings. She further says that all of this was reported in news and the public was outraged on the court's ruling. She describes how the law is biased for defendant, you get 6-month prison for stealing noodles, but if you have a lawyer who used to be a judge, you get off on parole, even if you have killed someone. She says that the law is failing to protect the people and these kind of comments were left for these cases, but now someone is going around punishing those people who got off with a minimal sentence because of the loopholes in the law. She joyfully says that the people need a vigilante, a hero. In a time where criminal faces minimal consequences while the victim and their family suffers, our society feels outraged at the justice system, and now someone has taken it upon themselves to take action. This is exactly what the world wants, a perfect dark hero. She says that this is definitely a scoop. The man ridicules the woman, so she gets up to go away. The man asks where is she going? To which she replies that if he is not going to understand then she will go to other broadcasting stations. The man shudders and asks her to wait, but the woman says that she has other appointments. She says the next person is already interested in who the vigilante is. In pressure the man agrees to give her the reporter's position. And asks her what is she going to call the so-called exclusive, to which she replies, vigilante. In the next panel we see Kim holding a phone and reading the article about the serial violent assaults. A news report is shown, where a man says that they have decided to call the individual or the group vigilante. And he further briefs about what vigilante is. He says vigilante, why? And says, because the general public feels that the modern law has evolved to protect the criminals instead of punish them. The man further blabbers something, let's skip the boring part. In the next panel Kim is holding the phone while people around him started talking, that maybe the reporters came up with the name vigilante. And some say that these cases has a clear pattern and the individual must be a serial criminal. Some fellow trainees asks the opinion of Kim about the vigilante, to which Kim says that it's hard to say just based on the article. And asks them to head to the class together. And they go to class. In the next panel we see Kim in his vigilante form. The scene shifts to a building, where a man is climbing onto the building trying to break in. The man opens a window and went inside, where a girl was sleeping, and he suddenly stomps on her. The girl woke up and writhing in pain. The man asks her to get up and started slapping her face while saying that why she did not pick up her phone. The girl says that she told him that she is breaking up with him. The man sits upon the girl and beats her relentlessly, saying that it's not up to her, and continues beating her. The girl says sorry while crying in pain. The man makes a creepy face. Suddenly the bell rings and someone call on the gate to open door. The man curses the girl angrily and says that he knew that she had someone, to which the girl denies it while sobbing. The man angrily picks up a knife and while cursing goes to open the door, and opens the door while shouting angrily. When he opens the door we see Kim standing while making a really scary face. The man was dumbfounded. Kim suddenly kicks the door, and the man's hand gets stuck between the door and he drops the knife. His hand gets broken. Then Kim holds the man in choking position from the back and comes inside the flat. Hearing the noises the girl slowly drags herself towards the main door. With a swollen bloody face she peeks at the main door. She sees a hooded man holding the man by his neck and he finally chokes him to death. She gets terrified and started calling for help and shouting to call the police. We see Kim walking away while putting his hand in the pocket of the hood, and the sirens of police were wailing in the background. Kim says in his mind, "Vigilante you say?" and slightly smiles. The scene shifts to the broadcasting station where the employees are saying to the man that their exclusive about the vigilante was a big hit and they should prepare for next episode. The man was speechless. The red-haired woman says that she already told him that it'd be a hit. The man asks what should they do for their next episode. While exclaiming he says that it was meant to be sensational but it is still a current affairs documentary, and asks she has a plan, right? The woman reassures him and asks to leave everything to her. The man says to stop beating around the bush and tell him about the plan. The woman says that did he remember the Jiyong Kim's case? To which he replies who doesn't know about that case. He briefs about the case by saying that Jiyong Kim, a man in his 50s, raped a disabled girl in the bathroom and assaulted her until she was left with severe injuries. However, at the court he claimed that he does not remember the event because of the alcohol and was only sentenced to 4 years of prison. The entire country was outraged by this sentence. The woman confirms it, and says that the personal information about Jiyong in the media was all fake. It was done to protect the criminal's human rights. And further says that he will not be registered as sexual offender as all the information about him was fake, and no one around him would know that he is a criminal. The man says that it won't be easy for general public to find that information. So the woman says that since they have all the information about Jiyong, they should reveal everything about him on air. The man objects to this suggestion, but the woman says that we can cover it up by saying that they are doing their duty as a journalist, that is to provide the truth to the public. And while making a scary face, she says that once they put this information on air, the vigilante will appear. She sweet-talks the man by saying that it will be major as their broadcast station will be first to report about a top-tier dark hero. The man contemplates about this situation. The woman sarcasmically asks that he did not want to go back on his words, right? The man starts sweating. The scene shifts to Police Academy, where we see Kim studying at a table, and then he gets a notification about the news that Kim listens. Kim opens the news and we see Report 25 News Channel, and the same man appears and he explains that recently the criminal's personal information is kept hidden from the general public to prevent the criminal's human rights. But what about the victim? Considering this fact, the people, here at Report 25, they are going to disclose the personal information of the criminals who committed serious crimes. He goes on blabbering again, so let's skip this part. In short, he has disclosed the identity with a photo of the perpetrator of Jiyong Kim's case, saying that the real name of the perpetrator is Jiyong Kim. Kim listens about it very carefully, and in the next panel, we see Kim with a very serious and scary expression. The scene shifts to CBC station where some people are furious about the work done by the Report 25 News Channel. One of them furiously says that there are ethics in this industry and how can they air something like that without notice. The other man says that the executive director is also furious about this incident. Next we are shown that Chang Hyun-gok, the manager of Report 25 News Channel, is silently watching the news about Jiyong Kim as he was released from prison today. The red-haired woman asks Chang-hyun that why is he not picking up his phone. To which he replies that his phone has been ringing for last few days, and he can't even turn his phone on. The man asks that is this going to be okay? Since they have revealed the info about Deokyoung, the people are throwing stones and trash his house. The man worries that Deokyoung will be stoned to death before the vigilante reaches him. The woman replies that she bets that the vigilante is hiding somewhere, dying to kill Deokyoung Jong. He will try to kill Deokyoung at the first chance he gets. The man says that he thinks so too. And the woman says to keep their reporter after Jong at all costs. Again Gok worried that what if someone other than vigilante killed Deokyoung Jong, what will happen then? While making a scary face she says that, then that person will become the vigilante too. In the next panel we are shown the house of Deokyoung Jong's house. Outside of his house was trash and cursed words written on his wall, and everyone in the neighborhood around him was ridiculing him. In a house we see that Deokyoung Jong is sitting crouching against a wall in a dark room. We see that a digital monitoring device is tied at his ankle. In next panel we see two people, one of them sighs and says that it have to be on Friday of all days, to which the person holding the camera says that their orders are absolute and you knows the drill. We see that Jiyong Kim is passing by the two people while carrying a backpack. At night time in the building, the security guard was patrolling. Kim sneaks into the security room and puts a USB drive into CPU, and says that he is installing a software that will transmit the security feed directly to a Chinese website that hacks into security system. Kim notices that the guard has returned and plugs out his USB drive and dashes outside. The guard was confused that did he leave the door unlocked? The scene shifts to Police Academy where Kim is sprinting in the ground. He stops and takes a deep breath and then watches the hacked security feed. Kim sees that Deokyoung Jong is sitting in his dark room with some alcohol bottles. He is cursing bad words continuously, and then he grabs his bag where a pair of gloves and a knife is kept. In the next scene, we are shown that the police siren is wailing, and a police tape is hung around Deokyoung's house. Outside we see that the reporters are arguing amongst them as they have lost the trail of Deokyoung Jong. Inside Jong's house we see two policemen are talking to each other about where would Jong has run to. The junior officer says to his senior that Jong's last known location is Jeju Island, and after that he cut off his ankle monitor and went into hiding. The junior police officer finds a passport and asks his senior to take a look. The junior questioningly says a Chinese passport? Is Deokyoung Jong Chinese? To which his senior replies that it is a fake passport. The junior asks what was Jong trying to do, an identity theft, or a job fraud? Considering his last location, is he trying to flee the country? The senior says to go to Jeju right now, and also says that Jong might leave through different harbor, so take a look into that as well. When the senior comes outside, he is surrounded by the reporters and they are asking about the whereabouts of Deokyoung Jong. The policeman did not give them a clear answer and says them to move away. In the next scene we see that the red-hair woman is going somewhere in her car, and at the same time talking to Changhyun on the phone. The man says, "Choi, where are you? Deokyoung Jong is on the run." Choi replies that she knows it too. She says that she has a source in the police, and Deokyoung might have gone to Jeju. Choi asks Chang to also send the reporters to the Jeju, so they can cover the news of Deokyoung. Chang praises Choi for her hard work and says that he will send the reporters, and then Choi cuts the call. After cutting the call, Choi angrily curses Changhyun as he lost trail on Deokyoung, while smashing her fist at the steering wheel. In the next scene we see that police trainees are leaving the classroom after the class. Jiyong Kim is also among them. Kim gets a notification in his phone, where he reads about the missing of Deokyoung. Kim's friend asks, is he not coming? To which Kim replies that he needs to go to bathroom real quick. In the bathroom Kim reads everything about Deokyoung's missing report and then he sees the hacked security footage, and finds out that Jong has left his home at 3 a.m. with a big handbag. Then Kim frustratingly says that Jong didn't cut off his ankle monitor to leave the country. In the next scene we see some police officers at a seashore. One of them says that he checked all the harbors but there are no signs that Jong fled on any ship. And they further talks about the whereabouts of Deokyoung. And then the senior says that Jong might have gotten onto a foreign fishing boat. He then asks his junior to contact maritime police to check for Deokyoung at all the port terminals. Away from the harbor, in the jungle, we see Deokyoung panting and walking, hiding from the police. The scene shifts to Kim who is exercising while waiting for the 2 days to pass, so he can get out of the academy. He says that if his intuition is right, then he don't have much time. He anxiously waits for Friday. In the next panel we see a motel, where Choi is talking to someone on the phone and is shouting, as the other person was not able to find anything at Jeju, and he cuts the call. Then Choi gets a call from Mr. Gwak. He says that the reporters have reached Jeju Police Department, and asks if she found anything. Choi started yelling at him angrily as he let Deokyung slip away, to which Mr. Gwak says that it is out of his control. He further says that it does not matter who kills Deokyun. Choi replies that he don't get it. What public wants is a video footage, the video of someone slaughtering the criminal on their behalf. Mr. Gwak gets stunned. Choi further says that they have to get the video for their show to be a hit. In next panel someone reports that, in order to catch Deokyung, the police has reinforced the inspection at port terminals, and considering the severity of crime and the public outrage, they are trying to arrest him as quickly as possible. We see Deokyung walking. At the police academy, Kim is staring at his watch, and when the watch shows Friday, Kim walks out of the academy with a serious look on his face. In the bus, Kim read the article about Deokyung Jong. Kim in his mind says, police is not the only one who is after Deokyung. Kim, while making a serious face, says that if he finds him where he thinks he is headed, then Deokyung is gonna wish that it was the police who finds him. The scene shifts to Anyang police station, where one of the policemen is talking to someone about Deokyung, and when he cuts the call, he angrily tries to throw his phone away, to which his partner says he has 1 more year for his phone's contract. The senior says that they are pressing him to catch Deokyung and they also reduce the personnel from this case. To which his partner says, that's because all Deokyung has done is only cut off his ankle monitor. Then the senior says that it is only for now, and asks how they are protecting Jong's victim. To which the man replies that she refused for it, so they gave her a smart watch for the time being. The senior says, even if she refuses, make 2 of their men to guard her, and have them stand outside of her door until they catches Deokyung. We see a building where the 2 men are standing guard at the door. Outside the building we see a dark figure staring at the building. The scene shifts to a ABC broadcasting reporter who is smoking in the washroom, and then the senior policeman enters the washroom. The policeman says to reporter that it is not allowed to smoke in the bathroom here. To which the reporter replies that he is sorry and he really needed a smoke, so he can't help it. The policeman says that if he see him smoking here 1 more time, and the reporter cuts him off and says he is very sorry, and he curses the policeman in his mind. The policeman gets a call. The men on other side says that the maritime police said that they got some information regarding Deokyung Jong. They reported that a Chinese national came board on a Russian boat in Busan and the person had Jong's passport. The maritime police asked for the checkup and the boat is headed towards Mokpo port. And policeman also rushes to Mokpo port. The reporter notices the sudden movement. In the next scene Mr. Gwak on the phone call tells Choi that the detectives at Anyang PD got a tip of Deokyung being at the Mokpo port. And he told the reporters to follow the detectives. Choi replies that she will head there too, and cuts the call. Choi says to herself that nothing is going according to her plan, the police will reach to Deokyung first. The golden opportunity is slipping away from her. What is she going to do even if she reaches to Mokpo port? If the police arrests Deokyung Jong, she will not get any scoop. Jong was a highly controversial criminal who received a lot of attention from media. And our outlaw will hunt scum like him and pummels him to death. Choi says that she needs to be the first one to capture the outlaw in action and report it. Choi says to Mr. Gwak to publish everything they know in an article online. Mr. Gwak advises Choi to fact-check. Choi yells and says that they don't have time for that, this is their final hope. She says, hopefully the Vigilante will read their article and get to Deokyung Jong before the police. She, while making a serious face, further says that they have to do everything in their power to show the world that the Vigilante they reported really exists, and then she speeds up her car. In the next panel we are shown the 2 people who were guarding the victim. One of them gets a call and he came to know that the police found someone similar to Deokyung at the sea. He tells this to his partner also. The girl comes out and asks if anything is wrong. To which the green shirt man replies that they found someone similar to Deokyung at the sea, and once they confirm his identity they will also clear out from here. Outside the building Kim says to himself that this is Deokyung's last chance, turn yourself in, if you don't want to get beaten to death. He further says that the traces left by Deokyung was not of someone who is going to flee the country. Upon seeing the traces, Kim immediately understood that Deokyung is going to retaliate against the victim. "You around here somewhere, aren't you?" Kim says this to himself. Kim gets a notification, and sees the article that Choi Mad publish. He sees that in the article it is mentioned that Deokyung is found at the sea. Kim contemplates to himself if his intuition was wrong, while making a worrying face. In the next panel we see a delivery man on his bike, and then entering the building. While entering, the delivery man gets attacked from behind by someone and he kills the delivery man. The man takes the helmet of the delivery man and puts it on his head. Here we came to know that he is Deokyung Jong. Next we see that the green shirt man notices Deokyung coming his way, but he couldn't identify him as he was wearing a helmet. The man asks to Jong which unit is he delivering to? To which the Jong replies, "It's unit 403, and leans down to open his delivery box. While opening the box, Jong says that the lady has ordered him a bowl of noodles as he is working very hard. The man replies she shouldn't have ordered it. The man notices the blood on Jong's shoes. Simultaneously Jong lunges to stab the man. The man avoids the knife using his baton, and falls Jong to the ground, and asks him to put his hands on the head. Jong pulls out a syringe and sprays something at the man. The man's hand gets a burn, and in pain, he says, "What the hell is that?" Jong then stabs the man in the stomach. Inside the house, the girl hears the noises, and opens the door to ask the detective what is happening. The girl sees Jong sitting upon the detective. She gets terrified and tries to close the door, but Jong puts his leg to block the door. Jong tries to grab the girl, but he is unable to do so because the detective was holding his other hand tightly. The detective tells the girl to run somewhere safe and call the police for help. The girl starts running while limping. Jong angrily says to let go of his hand while cursing the detective, and he pulls out his knife from his stomach. The girl is running away through the stairway and rushes towards a lift. But Jong comes from behind and grabs the girl with her hairs, and then shoves her head to the ground. Jong, while abusing, says to the girl that his life got ruined because of her, to which the girl says while crying that how is it her fault? She was only in middle school back then and Jong was the one who assaulted her, and gave her a scar that can never be erased. Jong says that why is she running her mouth instead for begging her life? He says that he should have killed her when he had the chance. He got little soft and spared her, but she ratted him out. Jong, while yelling, says that he lost everything because of her and now everyone hates him. The girl says that trash like him should have remained in prison. Why do they let people like Jong out in the society? Jong says, yes, prison is great, and now he will kill her and spend the rest of his life in prison peacefully. Suddenly a kick comes flying at him. We see that it's Kim who came in his vigilante form, and Jong falls to ground with a bang after getting kicked. Kim says that he was eavesdropping before and was wondering what Jong was going to say next. Kim says that he thought that there was a small chance that Jong might apologize to the girl. Kim further says that, from this moment onwards, blame the justice system who released him from the prison. Kim tells the girl to run, and the girl runs away terrified. Jong shouts to the girls where is she running, but he gets kicked again by the Kim. Jong, while cursing, asks who is he, and then he sprays the same acid at Kim, but Kim dodges it by tilting his head. Jong shouts to Kim that who does he think he is to interfere and tries to stab Kim while cursing, but Kim swiftly dodges all his attacks and kicks Jong in the stomach. Jong curses and says how long is he going to dodge? Kim leans onto the ground, to which Jong says what the hell, does he know Japanese wrestling or something like that? And lunges to stab Kim, but Kim blocks his knife with his leg and kicks at Jong's knee so hard that his knee gets cracked. Jong stumbles and steps back a little and swings his knife around so that Kim can't reach him. Jong again tries to stab Kim, and Kim blocks it again. Jong shouts and asks who is he, and says that he made it look like he was fleeing on a ship. How did Kim find him? Jong swings his knife around and says to stay away from him. If he comes close, he will cut Kim's ankle. But Kim again kicks Jong at his knee. While stumbling, Jong says to Kim to not come close, and why is he doing this to him? Jong gets cornered against a wall. Kim menacingly walks towards Jong, and after coming closer sits on the ground again. Jong starts trembling and lunges to attack Kim. Kim kicks Jong at his chin with style while leaning on the ground, and then he grabs Jong's hand and pulls out the helmet he was wearing. Jong, while sweating and bleeding, asks Kim to wait and listen to him, but Kim kicks his face, and he kicks continuously until he falls to the ground. And when Jong falls to the ground, he starts punching at his face and punches until the blood splatters around. Jong started begging to not kill him and says sorry again and again. Kim stands up and says that, on the wall, he will have to write an apology letter, then only he will decide what to do. Jong says thank you while sliding towards the wall. The scene shifts to where police cars are coming towards the building. And someone shouts that they have found the victim. The police, upon reaching at scene, gets shocked. One of the policemen asks, "What the hell is this?" And we are shown Jong lying dead upside down in the pool of blood. And a message written on the wall with blood, which says, "I am sorry, forgive," and lastly, "Sacred Net." Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more.